Hey everybody, Steve here, and welcome to episode 5 of the AFR Game of the Week. So last week on the show, I had the theme of favorite opening game of a championship series. For my own game, I played out Game 1 of the 1990 World Series between the Oakland Athletics and the Cincinnati Reds. In real life, the Reds were able to run away with the game 7-0 that set the tone for their 4-game sweep of that series, thanks in large part to the starting pitching of Jose Rio and a first inning home run from Eric Davis. In my replay of the game, using History Maker Baseball, the Oakland Athletics actually got on the board first in the top of the first inning. We'll go to the score sheet here for the recap. Jose Canseco worked a 2-out walk, and then he was driven home on a double from his fellow Bash brother, Mark McGuire. However, that would be the end of the scoring for the mighty A's team for the night, and in the bottom of the inning, the Reds rallied back to score the tying run, and Eric the Red came up with a chance to blow the game wide open, but this time he did not repeat history and he struck out, and so they had to settle for just tying the game. After that, it became a real pitching duel between Jose Rio and Dave Stewart, and the score would actually remain tied until the bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland was now into their bullpen, and Rick Honeycutt came in to face Eric Davis. And this time, Eric Davis was able to launch one into the left field seats to put his team on top 2-1. And as anybody who remembers that team, they had a fantastic bullpen. Dibble had come on in relief in the 8th inning, pitched a scoreless 8th, and his fellow nasty boy reliever Randy Myers came on to close the game in the 9th inning. But after getting 2 quick outs, Carney Lansford laced a single into the outfield and then actually stole second base, but a pinch-hitting Dave Henderson was not able to drive him home and instead hit a pop-up to Chris Sabo over at third to seal the win, and the Reds came out on top 2-1. So that was a really fun game to play. I've probably mentioned it here on the channel a couple of times that 1990 World Series was really my first big memory from my childhood that made quite an impression on me. And really fun series to watch on TV. And this was a fun game to replay out on my tabletop. From the viewer submissions, we had 3 games submitted this week, and they were all in baseball. First, we had a submission from Graham Hart, who replayed Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. This World Series, of course, is known for Kirk Gibson coming on to pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th inning to hit a walk-off home run, and that would prove to be his only at-bat for the series. In Graham's replay of the game, though, there were no late inning heroics needed, and the Dodgers cruised to a 5-0 win. And then finally, we had a couple of games from the 1973 season. First, we had a game from the NLCS that year that was submitted by Matt Dante, replaying a game between the Mets and Cincinnati. And in his replay, using Stratomatic, Cincinnati came out on top of a really good pitcher's duel, 1-0. And then finally, user JE with 6 zeros submitted a game from the 73 World Series between Oakland and New York. This game saw a lot of back and forth action. He was using the advanced version of Stratomatic. The A's took the lead 2-0 in the first, but then the Mets would chip away. They'd score 1 in the third, and then they finally broke through in the 8th inning to first tie the game and then take the lead 4-2. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, though, Oakland was able to tie the game themselves. on a 2-run double from Fosse. But then in the top of the 9th inning, with the score tied, Jerry Grody hit an RBI single to give his team the lead, and then the Mets were able to hold on to that as Parker came on and sat down Campy, Rudy, and Bando in order to get the save and seal the win. Very exciting game, and thanks for sharing, and thanks for everybody who submitted a game this week. If you would like to have your game featured, please be sure to leave a comment on this episode covering the topic for this week's Game of the Week. So with the World Series coming to a sudden conclusion last night, or perhaps a not so sudden conclusion if you stayed up for all 12 innings of the game, I thought that this week I would have the topic be again on championship series, but instead of saying your favorite closing game of a championship series, I'm going to go in a little different direction and say it'll be your favorite momentum changing game of a championship series. So for my game of the week, I'm going to be replaying Game 4 of the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals between Chicago and Boston. In that series, it started in Chicago for Games 1 and 2, and Boston lost a really close game in overtime, and then they were able to win Game 2 on the road, and then they came back home for Game 3 and won that, and it looked like everything was going Boston's way, and they were going to be hoisting the Stanley Cup again. But then Chicago took over in Game 4, and they won another overtime game, and then went on to win the series in 6 games. So I'm going to be using Hockey Blast and replaying Game 4 of the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals. See if I can keep that momentum going and have Boston earn a big win to go up 3-1 in the series. Look forward to reading and seeing everyone's games. Please feel free to leave a comment here on the video. You can leave a comment over on the Delphi Forums or send me an email, and then I'll share that on next week's show. Alright everybody, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Until next time, get out there, have fun, play games, and I'll see you after further review.